Hey, wow, I was at Toronto Film Festival and I'm still talking about movies. Here's some more movies that I watched in order from worst to best. Let's go. One of the films I watched was The New Corporation, the unfortunately necessary sequel. This is a sequel to one of my favorite documentaries, The Corporation, from 2003. The first documentary was an exploration of the roles that corporations play in society, and in reference to the legal precedent of corporate personhood in the United States, it creatively analyzed a psychological profile to determine what kind of person a corporation would be. This newest film is about how corporations are rebranding their images in response to the growing number of people who are skeptical about the morality of corporations. Just like the original, this film is well presented. They also reuse some of the same soundtrack from the first film. This documentary had great pacing and never felt boring. At points it was stressful and depressing, and at other points it was surprisingly inspiring. There are a lot of important issues addressed by this film. It covers topics like tax avoidance and corporate shareholder interest taking precedence over perceived social responsibilities, the rapid growth and Orwellian power of tech companies, the privatization of water, the insane dangers of deregulation, the corporate lobbyists rigging the rules against citizens in favor of the elite. There's a lot of important topics being discussed in this documentary. A lot of these topics are explored in the first film, but this one does it in a way that is more current and relevant, and that's definitely not to suggest that the first film is not relevant today. It's just that there are newer issues within these topics that weren't really a thing in 2003. Despite this film being more current and relevant, I still enjoy the first film a lot more. The first film had a much better structure by exploring these topics through the lens of a psychopathic diagnosis, and in that sense it was a lot more creative too. I also wasn't a big fan of how often the visuals of the film were just collages of article titles, and this was also an issue because of how sensationalized and out of context some of these article titles were. Each one of these article titles would briefly appear on the screen without really addressing them or their contents. It was more just used as a way of saying, hey look, this is happening too. But since we're not given any details about these, many of them come off as rather meaningless. Either use the format of your documentary to actually explore the topic or don't show it, because as it is, some of these article titles had me rolling my eyes a bit. Regardless, the main ideas of this documentary are important and well communicated. For the most part, I really enjoy what it covered, and like I said, it was very entertaining. The first Corporation film is actually free to watch on YouTube, so you can check that out right as soon as you're done watching this video. It's pretty great, and if you like that one, then check out this sequel when it's out, and I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10. Another film I watched was the new Michel Franco film, New Order. This is the same director as Chronic, which is a great film on my 2015 list. Michel Franco has made quite a few films, and I've enjoyed every one that I've seen. This newest project appears to have the highest production value out of all of them. There are tons of actors and extras in this movie. There is also quite a lot of violence. This is a very intense drama thriller that honestly feels pretty apocalyptic. It is very uncomfortable and morbid and disturbing. There are definitely some extreme emotions in this film. Now, I really enjoyed this film, and for the most part, I feel as though I got the intended emotional experience, but part of me felt as though it was missing elements that would make it a bit more resonating. The film has a backdrop of political revolution, yet seems to fail at making any kind of political observations. Not that that's absolutely necessary, but it felt like a really wasted opportunity, and even completely ignoring that, this film just felt like it didn't really have a point. Perhaps this film mostly just being a bunch of senseless violence is supposed to be a point in of itself. It was really disturbing and well done. I just wish that there was more to the movie. There are certainly elements of development to the characters in the film, but it never really feels as though it's used for anything. There's information and character traits that feel as though they're building somewhere but don't really. Honestly, if the writing of this film took more of a priority, then this would probably be pretty amazing. It was still very well made overall, and I'll definitely be seeing it again. Honestly, I have absolutely no idea how I'm gonna feel about this one on a second watch. I might enjoy it a lot more, and I might enjoy it a lot less, who knows? But as for now, I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10.
Going down and down and down and down and down and down and deeper.